Tribe up. Shalom. Great day. Welcome to the House of Khan. Salute. Having some issue with the soundboard. A little bit of feedback, a little bit of static. But we gonna rock it out anyway. Tribe up. Salute. Got another good show lined up. Rocking out to that Jimi Hendrix in the beginning. Hey, Jimi Hendrix crazy as hell, ain't it? Hey, I always try to go back and listen to Jimmy and try to figure out what the hell Jimmy talking about sometimes. But salute to Jimi Hendrix, our ancestors. Like I say, the soundboard down. We ain't got our sound effects right now, but maybe the stream will catch up. Hit me up in the chat. Let me know if the sound coming through okay. Hit me up in the chat. Earn Jordan in the house. Salute. Got a good show lined up. Title of the show is Osceola and The Negroes. And I'm gonna edit this live stream. I'm gonna cut out that intro.
You big dummy.
There you go. From the soundboard, they running late, just like a novel. Just like you knockers be running late to work. Soundboard running late. Well, my soundboard is a knocker soundboard. But let me check it again.
You big dummy.
Okay. All right, we on time. Yeah, Osceola and The Negroes, man. I think Jimi Hendrix had to mess my soundboard up, man. That knocker came on. Hold on, let's hear it one more time. Y'all heard that knocker? Hold on, one more time. Listen to Jimmy. What you knockers, man? I can't. Hey, Jimmy had the white people gone out there though. Look at the audience. Jimmy got them gone. That knocker said, blah, 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 blah. He playing the shit out that guitar though. What the hell is he saying?
You big dummy.
What? Hey, you too. Why y'all not captioning these lyrics, man? I need to know what this man is saying. Anywho, man, we finna get into the show. I know this intro kind of crazy, but y'all know I listen to all kind of music. Salute. I listen to everything, man. Especially the old Nagas. Nagas be having them guitars going crazy. Jimmy out there going crazy with the guitar. Everybody just amazed. But the title of this show though is Osceola and The Negroes. When I go Osceola and The Negroes, we about to get into it. We talking about you Negroes again. Y'all see the thumbnail? I know somebody gonna say, well, that ain't Osceola. Who ain't Osceola? How you know? You ain't never seen a real picture of Osceola. They don't got a real picture of Osceola. They done told you it was a white man. See, this the goofiness I'm talking about here. People look at my thumbnail. Hey, this is not a $5 Indian gonna come in here.
Sit your $5 ass down.
That ain't Osceola. You disrespecting my ancestors. He gonna come in here with this goof ass, and I'm gonna tell him, man, you pull out a picture of Osceola for me, and I'll wait. And I know he ain't got one because I know history. I know our history better than they do. Salute. Can't tell me about my ancestor history. These people crazy. These fake $5 red men got the nerve to think they gonna be able to tell me about our history because they trying to blend in. When we looking at this thumbnail, we see the Naga from left to right. We got two depictions of American Indians, and then we got a real American Indian on the far hand right, living and breathing. I don't know if he's still living, but in that picture he was breathing, he was inhaling, and they're all holding the same pipe. The first image on the far left, that's an ancient tobacco store Indian. You know, they put in front of the stores in Europe to let people know that this was where the tobacco was at. They was stealing out of America because they knew they people couldn't read. So they had to put an exotic statue, wood carved statue of an Indian and smoking a pipe to let them know this is the Indian. And he dressed the same way as the Indian on the tobacco ad, Virginia Tobacco. That's a newspaper ad or a pamphlet ad showing them the tobacco once again with the Indian depicting the same thing. And then we see in the live flesh the American Indian with his pipe. Salute. So when I say Osceola and The Negroes, I know what I'm talking about. And the proof is in the pudding. The proof always in the pudding, because I got a very sharp eye. You know what I'm saying? I got a sharp eye, like the entire private eye. Hey, Bronze Flat Power God in the house, tribe, but salute. Alright, soundboard tripping, come on. Soundboard running late, like Bronze Flat Power God running late with the soundboard. Man, my soundboard was just functioning fine. So hey, y'all let me know in the chat everything because they hacking on me already, and I'm not listening to the live feed. I'm recording it. So like on my end, all I hear is me, and then I hear the sound effects. So y'all let me know if everything's straight. But we can get into, like, if you've been on my channel for a while, you done seen all these sources that we looking at right now. We 3 sources in one. You done seen them all. You done seen that tobacco Indian. That thing is from the 1600s, man. That same thing from the 17. I forgot. It from either 16 or the 1700. I think it's from the 1700s. That statue was some of the earliest tobacco Indians. It might even be from the 1600s. I forgot. I have to pull it up. But that's like the originals, just like you are the original. You know, everybody else trying to say they're Indian too now. Everybody, all the other people trying to say they're Indians too. Or they trying to say they black too. All these different people trying to be you. But the ancient tobacco statue and the ancient tobacco ads of the colonial times telling the truth. See, this is the problem that the contradiction in history. This is our easy attack angle, because all the artifacts show us, all the original artifacts, the first ones, all the ancient ones, they show us and our ancestors. They're gonna show a fictitious red man. So this is our weapon against them. As soon as a fake red man come talking about who he is and talking about you from Africa and all this goofy shit. As soon as a fake Frenchman or a white colonizer descended from a colonizer, fake wannabe American that's redneck that's living amongst us today, as soon as they come talking, all you gotta do is pull out the first primary sources, and you say, you know what? Let's talk about the tobacco Indians. How come the first one Negroes? And you pull out one like the one on the far left from the 16th century. And then you could say, no, from the 17th century, it was from the 1600s. Yeah, the 1600s would be the 17th century, because the first century would be all the way up to 100. So the 17th century one, these old tobacco images, and it's a Negro. And then you say, okay, you don't want to go for that one. Well, what about this tobacco ad right here? What about this label that says Grubble and Virginia tobacco? What about the Indian on there? He looked just like the tobacco. You said the tobacco statue was fake, even though it was first before you made all these red men, when the fake ones, the really fake ones, this is the original tobacco statue. But you said that was supposed to be an African somehow, even though y'all ain't brought nobody from Africa at the time. And then we look at this tobacco label and we see the same thing. You can't explain that. Then we see the man in the flesh, and I'm not gonna go. If you want to find this tobacco Indian, you can go through my old videos. We got the sources there, just like we're doing these tobacco asses in the middle. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the time to pull up this American Negro Indian. Show you right where he on Wikipedia. It's very easy to pull him up. You can pull him up very easy. I'm gonna show you right where. Let me go ahead and get it ready. Let me go ahead and get it ready. You can easily pull him up. I'm gonna show you right where he at. Right on Wikipedia, you can put his image up. See, if all you gotta do, you wanna pull him up, all you gotta do is type in Black Seminole, so-called black, right? There you go, right there. Look what they call him. He don't got no African ancestry. They call him an Afro-Seminole elder smoking from a pipe. He ain't got no African ancestry. He look just like either one of the nigglets on the to the left, man. He look the same, man. It look exactly the same from the hair and everything, man. So see, when it comes down, no matter what they try to call you African American, the truth is that you are the original American Indian. Everybody else that's claiming to be, alright, if you knockers want to accept these other races of people, these red men saying, okay, well, Black Jack, they Indians too. Okay, that's on you if you want to accept that. I don't accept that line of thinking, because I look at what was first and what was original. We were original when it comes to the tobacco statues. We were original when it comes to the tobacco ads. We were the ones that got a history of ancestry of slavery, not them. So it came, in my eyes, it can't be them. They perpetrators, they face. They just like Kamala Harris. They just trying to blend in and say they us. And you know, a lot of our people so kind that we willing to let people just claim to be us. And I can see where the confusion come in at. Now you got red men running around talking about they the real Indians and you African.
Make changes.
even though the history says otherwise. Now we're gonna get into this Osceola and the Negroes. I just had to lay that foundation out though. We finna get into this Osceola and the Negroes now, because they want to call you Afro seminal and all this when you the original, and they want to imply that Osceola. They say Osceola and the Negroes. Osceola is a Negro too. Osceola ain't some white fake red man with a bunch of Negroes.
Sit
If you
$5
believe
ass
that,
down before I make
you
change.
as goofy as they come. You will believe anything. Now let's go to before we read from Osceola and the Negroes. Let's go to Google and let's just put in Osceola and see what they give us. Let's see if they got a real picture of Osceola. See, some people gonna say, man, Osceola is a red man, black giant. He is not white, man. He is not a nigga. Some of y'all gonna say that. So let's look at the images. Osceola. Let's see. We ought to be able to find a real picture of him. If he really what they say he is, because I don't believe any of this. You gotta have me a real picture too. Nope. Bunch of fake Osceola. Fake Osceola hijacks. Hijack everywhere. Not one real picture of an Osceola. So you only got cartoon images, and then you showing foreigners. You showing Nagas. You showing foreign Nagas. So I know this ain't the real Osceola. Just for the fact that you don't have one real picture. You only got paintings and drawings of what you say is Osceola. But when we read the history about Osceola, we don't get this fake $5 hijack red man.
Sit your $5 ass
This
down
is not
before
what
I
we
make
get
change.
when we read the real history about Osceola. Salute. Now this is just a short little read about Osceola and the Negroes. This is on JSTOR. You know what I'm saying? By Kenneth W. Porter. The Florida Historical Quarterly. Volume 33, number 3/4 Osceola double number. January to April 1955. Pages 235 to 239. So this is from 1955. They got a little image on there. All right. Let me set it up. We're gonna read from Osceola and the Negroes. Let me log in real quick. Like I say, man, you can come with your cartoon characters and all that stuff, but I'm not buying it. I don't buy cartoon characters. You gotta show me real stuff. You want to tell me Osceola was a red man, like I'm supposed to take it and run with it? Nope. Because Osceola had a band of Negroes, just like King Blue. Osceola and the Negroes. Osceola and the Negroes. Let me scroll up some more so everybody can see it. Hold on, let me get my screen correct. Osceola and the Negroes. Osceola, if not the most important Indian leader to the Seminole War, see, he had to be a Negro. He had to be a Negro.
Darkness, everybody! Everyone! Darkness is ready!
1835 to 1842. It's certainly the best known. His fame is largely due to the circumstance of his capture and death. A JJ in the house, a Napiri and Pay 2 in the house. Salute. His fame is largely due to the circumstance of his capture and death, but the abolitionist movement of his own day has also contributed. That Osceola was driven into hostility to the United States by the seizure and reduction to slavery of one of his wives. So let's start right there. They ain't captured. They ain't go get. You think where they captured this wife from? Zimbabwe? No. They wasn't capturing. They wasn't kidnapping Africans for slavery. I keep telling y'all that they was kidnapping Indians. They was getting them from right here. They ain't have. That's why you can't find no slave ship. That's why they won't have one to show you. That's why they just got cartoon images with a bunch of stick figures on it telling you that was slavery, that's a slave shipping, and a lot of niggas believe it. Osceola was driven. He was driven into hostility with the U.S. by the seizure and reduction to slavery of one of his wives, kidnapped and took into slavery with his wife, the daughter of an Indian chief and a runaway Negro. Now hold up, an Indian chief and a runaway Negro. If you brainwash You thinking it's somebody mixed. You see Indian chief and you thinking a red man. Guess what? You's a big dummy. An Indian chief is a Negro. So when they say the daughter of an Indian chief and a runaway Negro woman, that don't mean it's not two Negroes. That's still two Negroes. And they just told you they was kidnapping Indians for slavery. So the runaway Negro woman was an Indian too. Open your eyes and your mind. Some idiot, some buffoon gonna come in here and say, yeah, see, the mama was a runaway slave. See, she an African, a runaway Negro. She gotta be an African. And they just said beforehand that Osceola was driven into hostility with the U.S. by the seizure and reduction to slavery of one of his Indian wives, Managa. So if they stole this Osceola Indian wife and put her into slavery and pissed Osceola and the whole damn Seminole Nation and the whole 12 tribes of Israel off, what make you think that his wife, the daughter of an Indian chief and a runaway Negro, what make you think the runaway Negro woman was African? She was an Indian too. It's one of the best known and most generally accepted facts of his career. Actually, the story, so far as it concerns Osceola, is unsupported by trustworthy contemporary evidence. Apparently, it was either sheer fabrication by an abolitionist propagandist, or else was inspired by a kidnapping which involved a woman unconnected with Osceola. The kidnapping into slavery, see what they're trying to do here? It's all unconnected now. Of a part Negro Seminole woman, ain't no part Negro, a Negro woman, was entirely possible. Runaway slaves and their descendants. Runaway slave, who were these runaway slaves? Indians that you captured, like Osceola wife, who legally were still slaves. Now see, runaway slaves and their descendants who legally were still slaves. Okay, if they were legally still slaves, why on the Trail of Tears you didn't send them back to slavery? Why you sent them to Indian territory?
You big dumb. Boom shakalaka!
A modern historian want to tell you because they Negroes and there was an Indian chief that now they part Negro. He don't know what he talking about. A modern historian wants to write. I don't care if it was in 1955. He's still a modern historian. He wants to write that they were slaves and therefore still slaves and they was escaped Africa. He wants to write this, but he didn't put African. He put Negro. The kidnapping into slavery of a part Negro Seminole woman was entirely possible. It was 100%. It wasn't possible. It was 100% actual. See, man, this is crazy, man. How they trying to flip, and you got to be like brainwashed and slow. You got to completely believe brainwashed history to not be able to see through this. The kidnapping into slavery of a part Negro, part Seminole Negro, them two part Negroes. Was entirely possible. Runaway slaves and descendants who legally were still slaves were an important element in the Seminole tribe. Slave was frequently seized Negroes and part Negroes, living them. Okay, so ain't that all the Seminoles? A bunch of black ass niggas
Darkness, everybody!
and a bunch of light skinned niggas. And see, this the problem. This is the problem, cause they assuming these colonizers came on our turf and and saw the Seminole tribe. And they assuming that the light-skinned Nagas was mixed. Not knowing that two dark Nagas can make a light-skinned Naga. I got them in my family, so I know what I'm talking about. They assuming you mixed if you ain't dark as some of the other Nagas. But they told you the 12 tribes was a mixed multitude in our own community. We got a lot of different shades of brown. Talking about Negroes. So what was the Negroes? The fully black Nagas? And everybody else everybody else that's not fully blackness, Nagas like me that's kind of brown, and any Naga that's kind of yellowish, I guess we mixed out. You know what I'm saying?
Big dummy.
I guess we mixed out according to them. Living amongst the Seminole and spirited them away into servitude. See, they weren't spiriting Africans away to servitude. They were spiriting Negro Seminoles, Negro Indians. Old Inconchatamiko, the Red Ground King, an important Seminole chief, lost a part Negro granddaughter in this way. It is possible indeed that it was her kidnapping which gave rise to the story of Osceola's wife. Osceola's actual Negro connections. See, man, you ain't got no Negro connections, and then talking about this red, man. See, this some bullshit. Hey, man, wanna hijack your ancestors and claim your ancestors.
Boom shakalaka!
Osceola's actual Negro connections, although well authenticated. They say his Negro connections are well authenticated, but where's Red Man connections at then? Are however little known, probably because they lack romantic appeal. So see, they talking about they lack a romantic appeal. So what got romantic appeal? You want to put a white man on it? You want to make a white man his face? You want to give him some romantic appeal, huh?
Boom shakalaka!
Sort of like how you did the Lone Ranger. Same thing you did with the Lone Ranger. You whitewashed him. You whitewashed Osceola because you said he wasn't. You said he didn't look good, huh? Alright. The runaway slaves and their descendants amongst the Seminoles were almost unanimous in their determination to resist removal from Florida. They were convinced that if the Seminoles were assembled under military control for transportation to the Indian Territory, the Trail of Tears, the Negroes would be seized and enslaved. See, is that what happened? Is that what they tell us happened? Nope, because when we look at Indian Territory, it got 50 all-black towns. We know it was a push to make Indian Territory an all-black state. So-called black, right? Wasn't no red men. Red men was wanting to get out of town before we got dark, matter of fact.
Boom shakalaka!
And red and white men was wanting to go. The great majority of the Seminole Indians were also, for various reasons, opposed to removal. Osceola was the most conspicuously militant and outspoken of a number of hostile chiefs. So I already know Osceola was a nappy-headed ass nigga, man. I already know. But he was so great that they had to whitewash him, and they don't show you no pictures of him. They can't tell me what no photos existing at this time because I know it was. They hiding it. They got photos. You think they ain't got photos of Osceola if you want to. They scared to show you Osceola because you niggas gonna wake up. They mess around and show you a real picture of Osceola. Ain't no nog in America gonna believe they came from Africa. The great majority of the Seminole Indians were also, for very reason, opposed to removal. Osceola was the most conspicuous militant and outspoken of a number of hostile chiefs. His uncompromising attitude towards Seminole removal brought him into close relations with such Negro leaders as Abraham. See, he was Negro. All of them was Negroes. The head chief Mechanic was a Negro. Principal interpreter and advisor, all these was Negroes. The head chief Mechanic was a Negro. There's plenty of evidence showing. I'm gonna do a show on Mechanic. When the Seminole War broke out in December 1835, one of its most alarming features to the whites was to see black and white, man, was the prominence of activity of the Seminole Negroes and the extent to which the plantation slaves hastened to join the hostiles. See, they stopped calling you Seminole Negroes and Negro Indians, and they stopped calling the colonizers colonizers. They started calling you blacks, and they started calling them whites because they wanted to confuse there, but they didn't want you to realize, listen, these people still the descendants of Frenchmen and Spaniards and all this. They not Americans. They wanted to get you confused so they can throw themselves under the title. They say, yeah, they went from it went from a battle between Negro Indians and colonizers. Next thing you know, it's the whites and you blacks. And now all this African bullshit brought in, all this fugazi, this fakeness brought in. Titles getting swapped. When the Seminole War broke out in December 18th, one of the most alarming features to the whites, to the colonizers, was the prominence and activity of the Seminole Negro Indians and the extent to which the plantation slaves hastened to join the hostiles. They were trying to get back. Yeah, all them Indians you was capturing and all you was capturing and what they said, they said they were spiriting them away, capturing and kidnapping all these Indians. You got right out of America, you ain't go to Africa. Of course they wanted to get back to their tribes. When exactly in March 1837, General T.S. Jessup succeeded in negotiating a removal treaty with a number of similar chiefs. So you was stealing Indians, enslaving them, trying to teach them Christianity, trying to make them change how they dress and assimilate them. Niggas was trying to break free and go back to the hostile, to the tribes, and you was trying to stop them. You was like, no, little niglet, stay with us. Learn about Jesus. Learn about Jesus, little niglet. Stay with us. Don't go back with the hostiles.
Doctors, everybody, doctors is
They don't want you back out here in the field with niggas like Black Jack. They want you niggas in croaker sacks and out there in they field. And in the house, being a good little niglet, they said, do not go back out there. They told your ass, look, we don't want to see you back out there with hostiles. They was talking about niggas like me. They were like, you take them damn feathers off and put these croaker sacks on. And you get up in here and wash some dishes, nigga. That's what they were saying to y'all. I wasn't with it. I was like, man, I don't like them croaker sacks. I was still out here with the feathers on. You know what I'm saying? They were like, hell no. They were like, that's hostile. I was like, that hostile. Yup. They say Blackjack and the extent in which Blackjack hastened to join the hostile. When early in March 1830, General T.S. Jessup succeeded in negotiating a removal treaty with a number of Seminole chiefs, it was only on condition that their quote-unquote property, look how they did that, quote-unquote property, should be safeguarded and their quote-unquote allies permitted to accompany them to the Indian territory. The Indians understood that these rather cryptic expressions signified their Negroes. See what's going on?
Big dummy.
They started calling you property. You was never a slave. You never had a white master. You never came from Africa. You never came on a musky funky rat pat ship. See, they said their property, the Negroes, should be safeguarded, with their allies permitted to accompany them to Indian territory. The Indians understood that these rather cryptic message expressions signified the Negroes. Not their Negroes, the Negroes, because the Negroes was the chiefs, some of whom were actually their bona fide property, so they say. Although the majority were, okay, so if they bona fide property, you just told us something about people still being legally slaves and therefore was not free. Still, you said something about still being legally slaves. Where it's at, man? The runaway slaves and their descendants among the Seminoles were almost unanimous in their determination to resist. It was somewhere up here, but y'all remember it said that they were still legally slaves. Runaway slaves and their descendants who legally were still slaves. There you go, right there. Legally still slave, right where my mouse at. So if that's the case, how they end up being the Indian bona fide property? See, that's a contradiction. If this was a court of law, I would be hammering your ass. You can't say they was bona fide and legally still slaves, and then you turn around and say they the property of the Indians now. No, you would have said these Negroes is from Africa, y'all. They escaped and they joined y'all. Therefore, they don't belong in Indian territory. They're going back with us and getting back to the plantation. But now somehow you done got called somebody bona fide property, although the majority were fugitive slaves or their descendants. See, General Jessup, however, was immediately besieged by angry planters in search of runaway slaves, runaway Indians. Remember, they was kidnapping Indians like Osceola wife. The reason the whole war got broke off, one of the reasons, and decided under great pressure to attempt to recover the Negroes who had joined the Seminoles. Since the outbreak of the war, he succeeded in winning the support of Coy Hodjo, second chief of the St. Johns River Seminoles. See, a $5 pretender trying to push you out the tribe.
Try to claim to be the tribe. Before I make change.
Claiming to be the tribe. A good many Negroes who had accompanied the Seminoles unwillingly, talking about unwillingly, yeah, right, or enthusiastically, or who had found the hardships of Indian life more than they had bargained for, promptly took advantage of the cessation of hostilities to come in. Other runaways, however, were less amenable. A band of Negroes on Cedar Creek defiantly informed Coy Hodjo's emissaries that they had not captured them, and could not return them. See, the red fake Indians was on the side of the colonizers. I keep telling you,
Go
they
$5 ass
colonizers
down
too.
before I make change.
They was fighting against the whole Indian wars was against you Negroes. The fake Indians was allies with the colonizers. It was a good many of you Negroes, all your ancestors. Osceola put himself at the head of opposition to the surrender of runaway Negroes. When Coy Hajo announced in council that runaway Negroes should be returned, Osceola, rising in a rage, declared that so long as he was in the nation, it should never be done. He said, because these Negroes is not slaves. They are real indigenous people. They are Indians, and they're just like me. Osceola said, I'm a Negro. Why y'all think Osceola was so against talking about returning the Negroes? Osceola said, I'm a Negro. What the hell? Why y'all think he was so enraged? This is stupid, man. People that can't see what's going on is stupid in my eyes, man. Like, if people still brainwashed to try to reverse this, they dumb. You know what I'm saying? Osceola was moved by both public and personal consideration. See, he had never accepted the agreement on March 1837, and therefore opposed any action which would deprive the tribe of warriors or workers. Look, they talking about warriors or workers. Nah, they warriors, just like Pocheese. They warriors. They not workers just because they black, you idiot. You know what I'm saying? And then if they was African slaves because they black, then you wouldn't even have to ask. You would just take them back. you would just take them back like you so-called took them from Africa. But we know you were stealing Indians. We know the truth. Osceola, moreover, who was not a Seminole chief, but a Red Stick Creek from Georgia, had no hereditary claims to leadership. So you say, so this is what the colonizers say. His band consisted of warriors who were without close ties to hereditary leaders, and see how they trying to make it like he wasn't Negro. See, and who were attracted to his personal qualities of military courage and intelligence. Negroes, the element most strongly opposed to removal, and with the loosest allegiance to the hereditary chiefs, were naturally most susceptible to Osceola's appeal. See, they want to go to talking about hereditary. What y'all got, DNA tests? I got DNA tests back then. These people so goofy. They say, yeah, they saying Osceola's appeal was to the Negroes. His early personal following, especially therefore, was recruited in good part from amongst the Negroes. Where's the red man at? That's what I'm trying to find out the whole time. Where the red man at? In the huddle with the colonizers? Cause they ain't down with us. They got contradictory stories about you an Indian, then you a slave, then you a chief. A bunch of contradictory stories about how they got you. Talking about a war, about taking the slaves back, and then at the end of the war, no Negroes is taking the slavery. All the Negroes sent to Indian territory. At the end of the Seminole War, no Negro was taken into slavery. All the Negroes were sent to Indian territory. The ones that went, and the rest stayed in Florida, in Georgia. His early his early personal following, especially therefore, was recruited in good part from amongst the Negroes, although it was included some of the hot-headed and particularly recalcitrant Miccosukee, some more Negroes. Early in January 1837, Osceola was surprised and his band disrupted. He himself escaping with only 3 warriors, as his headquarters at the time of this disaster were a Negro village. Okay, he living. See, you ain't gotta tell me he a Negro without telling me he a Negro. Yeah, his wife was a Negro. Yeah, he was against Negro enslavement. Yeah, he lived in the village of Negroes. Yeah, tell me he a Negro without telling me he a Negro. As his headquarters at the time was in the Negro hood at the Panasufki Swamp. Not the Zimbabwe swamp, the Panasufki swamp. Of the 55 put their swamp their name. Of the 55 prisoners captured from his band, only 3 were Indians. Yo, so wait a minute. See what? Let's reread that. Let's reread that with our common sense. Of the 55 prisoners captured from his band, only 3 were red men. 52 were niggas. So who is the Indians? 52. As a matter of fact, and I don't even believe it was 3 red men. I believe them was just some light skinned Chris Brown looking ass knockers. That they'll probably call them mulatto. Knockers out there looking like Prince or somebody. 55 captives, all Negroes, except for 3 they say. They gonna call them mixed. Osceola was just confronted with the necessity of building up his band. See, we can't just pass that 55 captives and all of them was niggas. All 55 was niggas in my eyes. I don't believe there's only 3 were Indians. They wrote that shit down. They show us proof then. Show us some pictures then, motherfucker. Yeah, I dare y'all show us pictures. Show us these niggas feathered up. Show us these 50-something niggas feathered up in the 3 that you claim only 3 was red men. The 3 you claim was Indians. Well, all 55 was niggas. I bet you won't show no picture. Osceola was thus confronted with the necessity of building up his band again from the beginning. And runaway Negroes, such as runaway Negro Indians, Indian Negro, such as the Defiant Fugitive on Cedar Creek, were his most promising candidates. Yeah, there weren't no red men. There were no red men. Small wonder that he was enraged at Coy Hajo's proposal to deprive him of such recruits by turning them over to the whites. See, they wasn't getting you out of Africa. It's getting you from the Seminoles. It's getting you from the Seminoles, man. Other tribes and the Creeks and all the other Negro tribes. Osceola's opposition to the surrender of runaway Negroes and the resistance of freedom-loving Negroes, free Negroes. They didn't come from Africa. They didn't come on no ship. We was already here. Themselves naturally checked the Seminole and particularly the Negro movement toward the immigration camp at Tampa Bay. Even the Indian Negroes, see, even the Indian Negroes, they can't avoid this, man. Now we getting to the truth. That's all they had to say from the jump. All this trying to do the separation. All of them was 55 Indian Negroes, just like the war rolls tell us. Even the Indian Negroes, born or long domiciled amongst the Seminole, who had already assembled at the camp, became uneasy at the appearance of slave hunters. After the recent runaways had been surrendered, would the next stop be the seizure of the Indian Negroes? See, the runaways is Indian Negroes too, because they told us, just like Osceola wife, they were stealing Indian Negroes. Osceola, the young chief, Wildcat. Wildcat, that's what they named this town of Wildcat after. Osceola, the young chief Wildcat, and the young Indian Negro chief John Cavallo, John Horse, diligently cultivated these suspicions. Finally, early in June, most of the Indian Negroes and many Indians, it wasn't no many other, it was all Indian Negroes. It wasn't no many. What, 3 Indians then? Most of the Indian Negroes and 3 Indians. All was Negroes. Stop playing with us. All the red bones is in our tribes. Y'all fake red men, get the fuck on. This is not about y'all. I know y'all in here watching, cause we ain't got enough likes. That's how I know it's some fake $5 red men in here watching. This ain't about you. You're from Eurasia in the Bering Strait. You a Kung Fu Indian. You ain't even a real Indian. You a pretending. Finally, early in June, most of the Indian Negroes fled the camp. Jen Jessup's plan for the termination of the Seminole War had split on the rock of Osceola's opposition to the surrender of any Negroes, whatever the date of their capture or flight. Yeah, because he knows. Osceola said, man, y'all stole my wife. Y'all been stealing from the tribe. We really want to kill all y'all. That's what Osceola said. The breakdown of the agreement and the flight of the Negroes gave Osceola the time and opportunity for fresh recruiting. By October, his following included 60 or 70 Negroes. Mostly it seemed recent runaways. His Indian followers must have been comparatively few. The Indians, the Negroes is the Indians. See, you modern historians can't make sense of the truth, or you refuse to. You refuse to tell the truth. It was no red men. The spokesman of 17 Negroes, nearly all slaves of Major Harriet, who he stole from the tribe, who surrendered early in October, said that he was from Powers, Osceola's town, on a large lake above Lake Monroe. He had been permitted to leave in order to make salt, and reported that there were still about 50 Negroes with power. They all live almost exclusively on the pounded root of the palmetto. Let's see, not living off root out there, your ancestors. The informant, of course, may have been ascribing his own personal sentiments to Osceola's 50 Negro, and it is even more probable that he was telling his white masters the news which he thought they would most enjoy. Now they ain't gonna try to run up there on them 50 noggins. They better have 100 white men. We'll take 2 for 1 every time. Osceola was seized shortly after, and his Negroes. Where was his red men? He didn't have any. Presumably either surrendered or attached themselves to other chiefs. The story about the enslaving of Osceola's part Negro wife is probably untrue. Now, no. The only thing that's untrue is you calling her a part Negro. But that his importance as a Seminole war chief was partly as a commander of Negro warriors is well substantiated by contemporary documents. It's well substantiated by war records and all. And guess where you gonna find them at? The House of Cons, salute. Because the House of Cons, we study for real. We ain't on no BS. We ain't scared of these pretenders. We want smoke for real. We want smoke with pretenders and colonizers. We don't give a damn. We want smoke.
Your $5 ass down before I make
the smoke. And I'm Blackjack, this House of Con, man. I'm gonna get at y'all later. Hey, support the house. We got the cash up at the bottom of the screen. I mean at the top of the screen. Cash out / $$ House of Cons. Hey, we out. Catch y'all later. Peace.